Well, it all started in August of 2021. My mother got sick with COVID. I ended up taking her to St. Joe's in London Hospital, and I went in there with her. So I think that's when I got it. About a week later, I was getting in pretty bad shape. So I thought, I better go to the hospital. And I went to St. Joe's, and they put me in the hospital, and they transferred me here to Rockcastle. I was in a coma most of the time. They had me in a coma for like a month.
The first day that Matthew got admitted, I actually got to go in and provide care to him. And I went in with another nurse to turn him, and he wasn't very alert. He was groggy. He didn't really talk to us. He kind of acted like he was still sedated. At this point, he was one of our very first COVID patients that we had got on a ventilator. So we didn't know how patients were going to wean, how they were going to do, what COVID had done to their body.
When I came to here, I remember looking over and seeing it said today is September 30th. I was like, what happened to September, I missed my mom's birthday on the 22nd, mine was the 15th. Didn't remember none of that.
When Matthew was admitted, it took him several weeks to be awake, alert, and oriented and talking to us. And we started weaning him off the vent as soon as we could. We provide whiteboards for almost all of our patients because a lot of them have problems communicating with us because they have a trach and they're on a ventilator. So he was using the whiteboard to communicate, and then we started going in the room and he would have drawings on it. So that's when we realized that he liked to draw. So we started providing him with papers and colored pencils, markers, and he would take a blank sheet of paper, and by the time he was done, it looked like something that was like printed off of a printer.
Well, while I was here, I got into drawing little towns and buildings, and it just took my mind off of being on the ventilator.
He would draw, and his artwork was magnificent. Like when he was weaning off the vent and he was anxious, he would just sit and draw for hours. And there were times I'd go in his room at 11 o'clock at night and he would still be drawing because he wanted to finish his artwork.
Good to keep the mind occupied, I'd lay in the bed and do my artwork, and they would bring me the paper and pencils and colored pencils and markers and pencil sharpeners, just stuff like that. And that meant a whole lot. They enjoyed my artwork here and stuff, so I wanted to do something for the hospital. They were so good to me and stuff. So I decided to make this cardboard ambulance. I worked on that as what time I could. It took me 2 months to make it. That's kind of helped me too on my recovery process. The hospital was real good to me and everything, so I wanted to make them something.
Matthew is a miracle. Personally, he was one of the very first patients that I seen that was post-COVID that weaned off the vent and was able to go home with no trach and be able to live his normal life.
I got excellent care. I had excellent nurses. I couldn't ask for any better care. They was just accommodating in every possible way. Made me feel like I was one of their own family members, my treatment. That's the best way I can sum it up.
Because we did not see a lot of patients post-COVID successfully wean off the vent.